before I get rid of my 92, I think it'll be cool to do a side-by-side with the old van and new van. The big obvious different height. Action van suspension, 4.5-inch lift kit on this one. This van will get a lift kit. Same size tires, 245s on both of them. This had 285s at one point, but that killed the fuel economy, so I put 245s on it. It had 235 stock actually, so I only went one bigger later, but yeah, it was 285, so that was like 5 sizes bigger at one point. Same wheelbase. This is interesting. Same wheelbase. Ford just tacked on an extra 20 inches to the van without extending the wheelbase. That's why these extended model Econolines look funny. Here's a cool perspective. Parked in the same spot, and here's the length. You could tell the length difference right here. It's that little window. Window is the length difference. It's parked in the same spot. Here's the 92 frame, and here's the 99 frame. Thicker frame, 350 versus 150. Here's the axle on the 150, and here's the axle of the 350. Bigger axle, bigger frame, heavier duty vehicle, and then 5 lug nuts versus 8 lug nuts. Here's the 92 dash, 165,787 miles. Digital. The 99 doesn't have a digital, so this one's more advanced, which is weird. Volts, fuel, oil pressure, oil temperature, that's it, or coolant temperature. That's all it has, no tack. The new one doesn't have a tack either, which is also weird to not have that in a 99, and to have an older style odometer. When I bought this van, this was already ripped, but less ripped. It was only ripped like right here, but over 10 years it got worse. And then here's the door panel right here. I'll show you something here in a second, but hard plastic right here. Here's the 99. See, older style odometer, not digital like the 7-year-old older van. But lack of gauges as well on this one. No tack, but I have this right here, so I have a tack. This van's a OBD2, which I wanted, so when something's wrong with this van, I could actually diagnose it. You get access to the engine by taking this off right here. All vans have a strange engine access. Here's a door panel. This is actually soft touch material, so that's pretty cool. They upgraded the material a little bit on these. 5.0 V8 in the 92. Note the space. It doesn't look like a lot, but just keep note of that. And like all vans, you get access through the doghouse inside the van. 6.8 V10. You can kind of see the engine valve covers right there, but it's definitely more crammed in there than the 5.0 in the other van, especially on this side. It does not look like fun changing the spark plugs on this. Wheel gap difference between the two. Here's the new van right here, the 99 E-350, and the 150 with the lift. The gap isn't as bad, or isn't as big of a difference in the back versus the front. I think the 350s actually ride pretty tall in the back, probably because they are rated to tow 10,000 pounds, so the back's going to squat, so I'm pretty sure that's why they ride so high in the back. Not much of a difference, even though this has a 3-inch lift in the back. When you go up front, huge difference up front. Look at that difference up front. Barely a gap here. This one has a huge gap. Can't wait till the 99 has a gap this big. Lots of suspension travel right there. The 99 has a 3-inch exhaust. I actually wanted to replace all the piping for a new one, but I couldn't find a stock 3-inch exhaust for sale. Stainless exhaust tip, 3-inch to 3.5. I didn't want to do this actually. I just wanted it to be clean, brand new, but couldn't find a 3-inch. And here's the 5.0 2-inch exhaust. I replaced this entire thing, this entire assembly, and I wanted to do that with the 99, just get a whole new tailpipe assembly, because I just wanted a clean tailpipe, like brand new looking, but like I said, I couldn't find it, so I just went to a muffler shop, chopped it, and put a nice stainless exhaust tip on the new one. But yeah, the 5.0 is a 2-inch diameter tailpipe, and I think this assembly was only like $60, pretty cheap. And here's the 5.0. A while back, I got a cherry bomb installed. I think this was like 28 inches in length. And the new one also has a glass pack muffler, but a lot shorter. So it's a lot louder than the old one, than the old van. I think this one's only 18 inches in overall length. And then the door is slightly different. This dent was always here in my old van. I didn't care. But when I put the ladder on, the back door is a lot flatter than the new one. And then here's the other one right here. See the back door? When you look at my new van, the groove is a lot bigger. So the ladder install is slightly different. I have a gap right here. I wanted this to be flush. That's why I turned this, but in my last van it was turned the opposite direction because it was more flush. So the door's slightly different. Here's the interior of my new van. It's pretty much gonna stay this way. I got a place to sleep, place to eat. I have electricity, TV, Retron HD, SNES and NES version, storage, working AC. That's the big one. I'm really happy my new van has working AC. It's really nice. And one of the big lessons I learned from my last van is to not rip out the interior panels. Don't take this out. Yeah, when you take this out, when you take out the interior panels, you gain a little extra width, about 2 inches on each side, but it's so ugly. Presentation means a lot to me. This van looks so much nicer. It's a nice looking van, and that's the one thing I'm happy about also. It's just a nice vehicle. It's nice to have a nice vehicle, so I'll show you guys my favorite setup of my last van, and my favorite setup of my last van is when I had the interior panels still in it. When I took the panels out, I just hated the way it looked, so I didn't make that same mistake again. And no rips in the seat or anything. Everything's really nice in this van. And here's the outside shot of the new van. All I have to do is add the lift kit. That's the big project. I have a front light bar. I'll do that in the next couple of weeks. Put a front light bar there. I still have that from my old van. And I have the ladder in the back here. So pretty much this is the way it's going to look. All it needs is a lift kit and front light bar, and that's going to be probably the final look of this van. Oh, and an awning. I want an awning a lot, so needs an awning. About to top off on fuel here. Nice interior, no cracks. Like I said, working AC. I love that. That was mandatory for me the second time around getting a van. Tire pressure monitor sensor right there. It's already been through rain and a road trip. So far so good. Power station. Let's start up this engine. It's a good sound, and that's a smooth motor. 12.7 mpg, which isn't bad. That's a lot of errands and going to work. Love how much more power this van has than my last one. Fuel is going up again. I will miss $2.12 a gallon. That's the cheapest it's been here since I could remember. One more look at the front here. Not bad for being a 99. After this, I'll show you guys my favorite setup in my last van and the setup I hated. This van has way more power than my last van, and the fuel economy is about the same. The 5.0 got slightly better fuel economy in stop and go traffic, but on the freeway they're about the same. This van has a lot more power, so it's more effortless on the freeway, especially on grades. So I'm really enjoying this van a lot. Much nicer than my last van. Especially initially. My last van was junk from day one, but I still worked on it. This one, I started off with a lot nicer van this time around. And then, I could get like a, a little Ford Ranger 4x4 or something, but, or a little SUV like a Jeep Cherokee. Those go for pretty cheap, but, you can't have this stuff in a Cherokee. TV, my little table, bed. It's a compromise. Yeah, it's not the greatest off-roader, but I have a little house with me. So it's a compromise. Not the greatest off-road vehicle in the world, but you got a bed and you got all that room. You got a little house around you when you take your trips out to the desert. So that's why I chose to lift this, and the sentimental value. I love this van. I think we all are guilty of that, dumping way more money in our vehicles than what they're worth. Like, that's a car. Yeah, I always contemplated like taking the seat out, but it's perfect, man. Like I said, it still has seat belts. It's perfect, like, if you want to just relax, play video games or whatever, go on the computer. Passenger seat, perfect passenger seat. See, plenty of leg room. You can't even touch the seat. So yeah, I think it's a good combo. Alright, here's a van video to all 4 people who like my van videos. Here's how my van currently looks inside. I just remodeled here. I'll put it at the end what it used to look like, but this van has been remodeled so many times. But this next one is going to be the final remodeling. I just got this Big Joe chair. Right now I don't have a bed. I'm bedless. Taking this bed out, I just don't like it. It's way too high. When I sit on it, it's taking up too much space. So I'm just gonna redo it. Put something else in here. Taking out the carpet here, putting a new one in. So yeah, taking that bed out. I'll figure out what I want to put in here later.